Are you an American buyer or international buyer and trying to figure out how exactly it works to buy a London property? Then this video is for you. Hi everyone, I'm Arinzeh with Onyx Property Team in Keller Williams. I am a London-based property agent and I help my clients with all of their real estate needs, whether they are international buyers, domestic sellers, landlords, or renters trying to find the right home. On my YouTube channel, I share lots of great information about the London property market and living in this fabulous city. So if you haven't already, please make sure to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss one of my weekly videos. In today's video, we're going to talk about the major differences between buying a property in America versus here in the UK, particularly London. Consider it your comprehensive guide. Americans have always had a deep connection to Britain, and London is home to many Americans for its common language and familiarity. Given the ongoing dip in property prices and relatively strong dollar to the pound, it continues to be a good time for Americans thinking of buying in London. So here's my summary of some of the major differences between buying a property in the US versus the UK. Please note that every US state will have its own laws and processes, so I'm presenting a general guidance on how things work. So let's get started. In America, your first step in the buying process is to consult with a bank or mortgage broker to get a sense of what you can afford. Serious buyers will actually get pre-qualified, which means that the lender has fully checked credit and verified documentation to approve a specific loan amount and their interest rates, usually for a particular period of time. Here in the UK, lenders will give a mortgage in principle, giving indicative mortgage amounts and rates. However, this will have been done without a formal application, so their level of review of your circumstances will not be as in-depth. It's not until you've found a property that the formal mortgage application process starts, and then that approval process can take weeks, if not months. Next step in the process is hiring an agent. In the US, you'll hire a real estate agent who will get you in to see every property that might be of interest. They will negotiate on your behalf and assist in writing the contract, which is presented and negotiated with the selling agent who represents the seller. The seller will only have listed with one agent at a time, usually for a period of 6 months or even up to a year, and they will pay a sales commission that is split between the selling agent and the buying agent, typically in the range of 5 to 6%. In the UK, the market is dominated by estate agents who work on behalf of the seller, called a vendor, and the seller will typically pay 1.5% to 2% commission for sole agency, but may also decide to hire several agents, and this is called a multiple agency scenario, and that fee might be around 3%. But it is a winner-takes-all scenario. In the UK, potential buyers must register with the specific agent who has listed a particular property in order to see it, and that agent can only show the stock that they have been instructed to sell. This can be extremely inefficient, as busy professionals and foreign buyers must deal with several and multiple different agents and arrange viewings at different times, and often be based on the agent's schedule. In the States, your buying agent will typically go with you and be your consultant every step of the way. Many homes will have lock boxes on the properties, so access with your agent is direct, straightforward, and often no one will be home. This is one of the key things that really surprised me when I moved over as a real estate professional here to London. That people were buying the most expensive home or the most expensive asset of their life with no one guiding or supporting them directly. Instead, they must rely on the estate agent that really works for the seller. It's one of the reasons why I specialize in working with international buyers as their buying agent. If you want to know more about what an actual buying agent does, I've got a great video that we can link in the notes as well, or be above so you can click onto it when you're ready. In the States, once a buyer wants to make an offer on a particular property, in consultation with their agent, they write an offer including the purchase price and any other terms, such as subject to home inspection, appraisal, or financing being obtained. The buying agent then presents the offer to the selling agent and negotiations commence until a price and terms are agreed. At that point, you have a legally binding contract to sign, and a buyer deposits 10% of the purchase price to be held in escrow until completion. Next, there's appraisals. Inspections are conducted as per the contract. If any issues are found, the buyer might decide not to proceed. They can try to renegotiate based on the items that have been identified in that inspection, or proceed with the deal as agreed. In the UK, the offer is made to the estate agent who represents the seller. Once the offer is accepted, both parties engage solicitors and a sales memorandum is presented summarizing the detail. A bank requested valuation is booked, and then the buyer can opt to have a survey done. There's so many different types of surveys, and this will be similar to the American home inspection. By the way, if you want to know more about the cost of buying a home in London, make sure to check out my video, The Actual Cost of Buying a Property in London. During the closing process, this is one of the biggest differences are revealed between the UK and the US. In the UK, until you exchange contract, which can be weeks or months later, either party can walk away without recourse or penalty. During this due diligence or conveyance phase, prior to exchange of contracts, that is when solicitors, particularly the buyer solicitor, engages in all the title searches, it is when surveys and valuations are conducted and financing underwriting occurs. Again, remember that until you exchange contracts, either party can change their mind and decide not to proceed. For example, a seller can accept a higher offer, it's what we call being gazumped, or the buyer can simply decide not to proceed. This leaves both parties highly exposed throughout this time. It is only at exchange of contracts that both parties are legally bound, and the buyer will put up a deposit of around 10% and a completion date is set, usually a couple weeks later, though sometimes it can be simultaneously, particularly if you have a cash buyer. Between exchange and completion, the bank has been notified to complete final steps on the mortgage and arrange for the funds to be available on the date of completion. At completion, solicitors will arrange for the remaining monies to be paid and keys exchanged. I should note that as an agent with Keller Williams, we've been working with a platform that is looking to improve on this process such that it delivers a binding commitment for both parties much earlier in the process, giving you, particularly a buyer, peace of mind assurance that you're going to get the property that you've agreed an offer on. In America, the legal work and transfer of ownership is handled by a single attorney or title company appointed by the buyer. At closing, all documentation is signed, including loan documents and bank funds. Within a few days after funds have cleared, keys are then released. Also can be done at closing if a cashier check has been presented. So I hope this video has been helpful in giving you a sense of the buying process here in London compared to the US. It is vastly different, so if you have more questions, please make sure to reach out to me. Also, I'd love it if you leave me a comment below about what surprised you most about the differences in the buying process. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to check out the other videos on my YouTube channel where I share great things about the London property market and living in this incredible city. So that's Arinzeh with Onyx Property Team and Keller Williams. Bye for now.